All right. Welcome in to the TBC Weekly. I am riding solo as of right now. Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about my partners here. I'm going to try and keep that to myself because communication seems to be a major issue. Anyways, so looks like Shawn's out because he's at a Detroit Lions playoff party. Rare event, yeah. Just now realized that apparently. Anyway, Jeff says still working on the property spreading mulch. I'll get in when I can, probably on my way home driving. All right. So, anyways, you guys don't need those dumb bastards anyways, right? Because I'm going to bring the heat. I'm going to bring the fire. Let's go. I see the chat already lighting up. Appreciate you, Billy. First one in. We'll see if Jeff shows up. Shawn, obviously not. Not a huge loss, though, right? It's really frustrating, I'll tell you, man. You ever wish you could fire your friend? That's why they say don't mix business and pleasure or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so I appreciate you guys being in here. I see Billy in there, Odysseus. Thank you guys. Stephen Cherry coming in. Yes. And Tyrone Smith. Tyrone, where you been, man? I appreciate you guys coming in. So what do you guys want to talk about? This is your opportunity to turn this show in the direction you want to go. I have plenty of ideas, like, for example, I need to play my guy, Tyvis, right? We got to play Tyvis. We haven't heard from him in a long time. Oh, shit. We got to, yeah. Let me get Tyvis down here. He's been sleeping, took a nap all day. So let's get Tyvis going here. Energized as always. I mean, that's never a problem, but I try to keep the volume down for you so it doesn't blow your eardrums out. But here we go. Share it. Tyvis. Share the sound. Whatever. Share it.
Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
Thank you, Tyvis. We appreciate you, sir. Especially making your way out in this Sunday night. So, all right, please. You guys need to realize we just hit 450,000 views this week. Like, we have cranked out a lot of views. This week was huge. We had 2 videos go over 4,000 views. This Alabama video, where I was talking about the top 10 guys the Buckeyes need to go after, that was 1,000 videos. So we're really close to 3,000 subscribers. That's a big deal to me. I mean, that's a landmark. We're constantly shooting for, growing the show and stuff like that. So, hey, don't forget, if you haven't heard yet, I am cranking out a site on the buckeyecast.com. This is just going to be an added page to it where you will have all the stuff that I cannot publish on YouTube. They cock blocked me a few months ago. They made me take down all my film breakdowns, the recruiting highlights and videos, and like stuff that recruiting videos in general that I could not post on YouTube. That's going to be on my site now. So I'll share everything with you, and it's going to be. And I'll take requests, honestly. I'll have a little quick form there. You can text me, email me, whatever, and tell me what you're looking for. We can do like position focused stuff. Like, remember, I did one on Jack Sawyer, how slow he was off the ball early in 2023. Then he totally, I don't know what happened. He started taking uppers or whatever. But anyway, later in 2023, fucking off the ball like a madman. So, oh, I got a problem. I can't. I'm gonna have to run for a second. Not leaving the show. I see all you guys. Jeremiah's in here. Jeremiah, where you been? All right. I can't leave just yet. Fuck me. This is my worst nightmare. This could be the worst podcasting night of my life. All right. So hang tight. I don't have any music or video for you to watch. Oh, let me pull something up. I got something good for you. Here we go. Watch this. Here we go. If you're gonna give me a little leeway, this might be one of the better ways to. Here you go. Jeremiah Smith highlights. Just take 5 seconds. I'll be right back. Yeah, here you go. Watch this shit. All right. This is Jeremiah Smith highlights. I'll be right back.
That pass is complete.
Oh, right. We're back. All right. Flying solo tonight is fun. This could be the best show of the year, even, or the worst. Who knows? So, anyways, let's get back to it. So Saban retired, obviously, and they got Kalen DeBoer coming in. So these two changes open up a lot of player movement, right? With the portal, each team gets 30 days. Bama gets 30 days. Washington gets 30 days. Now it looks like Jed Fish is going to take that Washington job. So that means Arizona, their roster gets 30 days in the portal. So all these guys get 30 days. And then what happens? Who takes the Arizona job? Is that another head coach, maybe from a MAC school or a lower level P5? That just opens another door, right? Like these portal windows could stay open forever, seemingly. So I'm hoping that Jeff and Shawn can get on here. And me and Jeff talked a lot on Friday on the rush hour about just all the changes, who we're going to go after. If you prop it, fuck me, I need a drink. Woodford, yep. Nailed it. So if you caught today's Daily Blitz. I talked about my 10 favorite players I would go after on Alabama's roster right now. Whatever you need to do to get them into the portal and then get them into campus, doesn't matter. There are no tampering rules. Obviously, NCAA is not around. They don't give a fuck. Apparently, they only care about Michigan and Florida State, So we need to go after the entire roster, in my opinion. I just picked out 10 dudes, but I think most of that Alabama roster, especially O-line, like just take your pick on the O-line. I have seen some garbage out there on social media about Jalen Milroe entering the portal. I don't think that's true yet. I think that could be true very soon because I'm not sure Kalen DeBoer wants a Jalen Milroe in his offense. We'll see. But and then we got to talk about Harbaugh. So seemingly he already has an interview set up with the Los Angeles Chargers. I know it's weird to say Los Angeles Chargers. Did you guys watch any of that Packers Cowboys game? I don't watch NFL football until yesterday. Yesterday's Browns game was the first one I watched all year. Yikes. And it was a sore reminder, kind of a bittersweet moment watching CJ throw that deep ball. Man, could have used that. But anyways, sorry, Browns fans. I'm not trying to piss on your grave or anything like that. But yeah. Flacco is never going to be your answer, right? I'm going to get to your comments, I promise. And if you get your super chats in there, those get first dibs. You do respect dibs, right? Anyway, yeah, we do want to talk Buckeye offensive coordinators coming in. A lot of names out there. Seems like we're honing in on a couple. Nick Newland, you are not in this show. All right. We got a friend in the chat. I love it. Anyway, let's talk about offensive coordinators for the Buckeyes coming in. This is obviously the main focus for Ryan Day. Liam Cohen, who is the OC/quarterbacks coach at Kentucky right now. He took 1 year with the Rams, I believe, last year. Now he's back at Kentucky. He was at Kentucky the year prior to the Rams. So he's kind of pinballing back and forth here. We'll see if the Buckeyes really want him. He's going to have to give us 2 years and not just interviewing for NFL jobs again, right? So he's an option. You got Jason Candle, the head coach at Toledo. Seems like a tough position for a head coach at one of the best MAC schools anyways, to take a step backwards to just be an OC. Now, he does have a great resume. I like Jason Candle. Won 4 championships at Mount Union. Mount Union, I mean, most of us are from Ohio, so we know what kind of status Mount Union carries, in the college football world, especially in Ohio. But so that's respectable, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. I'm just checking to see if anybody is going to show up tonight. It's fucking shoot me in the face, man. Anyways, you guys probably feel my frustration where it's at. Anyway, so let's go. Liam Cohen, Jason Candle. I think Candle might be a better option, honestly. He's got more experience. Then you got, what happens with these NFL guys that are getting fired? Doug Nussmeier from the Chargers. That whole staff's probably whacked. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's a matter of as Ohio State, Ryan Day, you got to make your move swiftly. You can't just sit back and wait for these guys to take 20 interviews, with NFL and college teams. You gotta get in there and fucking throw some elbows, and make these people wanted, make them feel wanted, like they should be. So let's get into the chat here. We got a lot of topics on the board. I'm not going to turn any topics away. I'm going to keep an eye out for you cocksucker Michigan fans. Nick, you're first on the list. Billy, first one in, says, evening, gents. Odysseus says, OH. IO to you, sir. Steven Cherry. All the cheaters bending ship. Yeah, they are, aren't they? You notice this year compared to last year, if you look at the transfer portal, yeah, nobody's coming in. They got like 2 dudes in, bunch of dudes leaving. This is the rats jumping off the ship. Exactly, Steven. Billy says NFL so star for QBs. Somebody probably going to take a gamble on JJ late first. Yeah. I've seen him in middle second round. He's definitely not your top 10 quarterback. But hey, go ahead, JJ. I wanted to beat your ass, though, next year. I wish you would have stayed. Odysseus says they know the hammer's coming. Exactly. Right. There. Again, the rats are jumping ship. Ship's going down. Like I mentioned earlier, Harbaugh has an interview with the Chargers. He's probably going to have more than that. He's probably going to have an interview with the Raiders. Who knows? I don't give a fuck. But Billy says, as a Browns fan, I say F that to JJ. Yeah, I would agree with that. Tyrone says, what's up? Odysseus says, watch the booger go to San Diego to interview for the Chargers. Yeah, that's first on the list. I think he's going to have more than that, honestly. I think he's going to have more interviews than just one. Tyrone says, what's up, Billy? Nick says, fire them. Fire who? Fire JJ? Fire Harbaugh? I'm with you. Nick, are you drinking some bourbon? What are you drinking? Steven says, who's our new offensive coordinator going to be? Lots of irons in the fire. Do you guys feel good? Tell me if you feel good that at least we're getting an offensive coordinator. We should have had one last year, maybe even before that. At least we're fucking getting an offensive coordinator, right? Where Ryan Day doesn't have to do everything on the offensive side of the ball. I'm thankful. I wish it would have happened sooner, but you know me, glasses half full kind of guy. Odysseus says, I heard Candle or NFL candidate for OC. Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't know what NFL OC exactly that could be because, there's a lot of them that need jobs. A lot of staffs are just cut and fired. We'll see. I got no problem with Candle. I got no problem with him. He's one of the best head coaches in the MAC. And those guys typically translate well to, being coordinators. Now, they're not going to translate well to being a head coach in the Big Ten, right? But yeah. Let's get back to the chat here and keep this rolling. Steven says, commit to the running game to set up the pass game. Okay. Well, that's a philosophy. That's like an entire philosophy game plan kind of thing. we kind of did that last year, honestly, but we're not successful with it because of the O-line. Take the Cotton Bowl. Can we just like erase the Cotton Bowl from our conversation? Because the Cotton Bowl was not anything representative of the entire season. I would say the Cotton Bowl was a one-off kind of exhibition. Had no Marv. We completely changed the offensive lineup, and arrangement. So I don't think the Cotton Bowl is a good representation of what we're looking for in 2024. But I do take your point, and I agree that we do need to focus on the running game. And why shouldn't we? We have the horses. We got fucking Judkins. That dude's a monster. And Trey, obviously. And then Dallin. I mean, you got a big ass three-headed monster there of three guys that do very different things, right? So that's the key, is utilizing that three-headed monster to its entirety. And hey, there's no fucking redshirting Dallin Hayden, right? That's done. They really worked way too hard to redshirt Dallin Hayden last year for whatever reason. Maybe they made some promises to his dad or something. I don't know. Just speculating. I have no information at all. But I wonder why they tried so hard, right, to redshirt him. Anyways, so he's got 3 more years. Dallin's got 3 more years. He's going to have 1 year behind Trey and Quinshawn. That's fine. Then he's going to have 2 years where he could be the man, right? Him and Peoples and SWD. So back to the chat here. Things are piling up. You guys are chatting more than I can get to. Billy says, I heard the Philly OC is a candidate. A Philly/Buckeye fan said we absolutely don't want to take him. Oh, yeah. Johnson, is that dude's name? Brian Johnson or something like that? I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. I can't weigh in on NFL OCs. Yikes. All right. Hey, folks, we're piling up some viewers in here. If you guys could hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. You would get me out of a jam. Not really. But I would appreciate it because I got to talk nonstop for the next rest of my life, apparently. Let's go back to the chat here. Jeremiah says, I just smashed the like button. Let's go Buckeyes. There you go, Jeremiah. Thank you, sir. You're one of the good ones. He says, hey, Joe, what did you think about CJ Stroud last night? I actually did watch that NFL game. First one of the year, I'm proud to say. And again, nobody throws a better ball than CJ Stroud. Unappreciated, I believe, when he was here. But yeah, I hope CJ goes to the Super Bowl. I hope he fucking wins it. I don't give a shit who he plays. I'm a CJ Stroud fan. Got Noah Brown on that team. So yeah. Let's get back. Billy says, at least the narrative that we don't put out NFL QBs is dead. I would hope by now, right? Steven says, Stroud about to be the face of the NFL for the next decade. He should be, right? He's a good dude. He doesn't do shit wrong. He's not like doing dumb shit off field or, he's not like a weird guy. He's pretty like straightforward, normal dude. He's a normal guy, but he's gonna, if he has a nice 10-year career in the NFL, I would not be surprised at all. I hope he wins a Super Bowl, gets everything he earns. Odysseus says Stroud tearing it up. Billy says at least the narrative. Yeah, exactly. Steven says Stroud about to be the face of the NFL. Yep. Billy says Stroud in love. Stroud love? Oh, is that the Green Bay quarterback? Yeah. It helps when when the other team just throws pick sixes, right? Billy says Liam Cohen, not too many Irish and Jewish coaches in football. Is he? Is he both? Could be. Who knows? Bet he has a good bourbon collection coaching there in Kentucky. I know I would. Tyrone says, I wonder what made Rodgers come back. Not sure how much playing time he will get. Oh, Bryson Rodgers. Yeah, that's a weird one, man. I don't know. Yeah. Bryson Rodgers is that's an interesting scenario there. He's from down here in Zephyr Hills, where they make the bottled water. If you're looking for some good bottled water, don't buy that. Anyway, yeah, it's just north of Tampa. He was not a super high level recruit. I'm guessing he did not get what he was looking for in the NIL dollars when he went into the portal. And I think maybe that was just a play to make some money. That's what a lot of these guys do, if they're not getting the time they want or the dollars they want, they pop in the portal as a threat or a negotiating tactic, right? And they just they pop in there, they want to get some attention, get some money back. And so it must have worked out for Bryson. And he's probably going to be right behind Brandon Innes in the slot. So maybe, third man in, worst. So I don't know. Going through the chat here. Billy says we need an OC.
What's happening, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? Just running through the chat here.
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem. Shawn is, hit the eject button, so appreciate that. Travis says, kind of makes me sick to my stomach to say this, but if Sharon Moore makes the jump, wants to jump ship and replace Justin Fry, you'd be okay with taking on the crier? You would take Sharon Moore, the crier, to replace Justin Fry. Wow, that's blasphemous. Sorry, Travis. I can't get on board with that. I respect your opinion. I'm not there.
I'd have an issue with it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oof. I'd say, yeah, I all I can see, every time I see him, I just picture him giving fucking Harbaugh's eulogy after a game. And I don't know if I'd ever get that thought out of my head in his stupid ass blue and yellow. So I would not want him on the Ohio State staff. He's talked shit about us for how many years in recruiting. Those guys that flip from those two schools, I can't trust them. Don't want them.
Yeah.
Don't need them.
Can't win with them.
Can't win with them.
No.
Singletary. I want winners. Yeah, he's a winner. He's a winner. I mean, he's a good coach. I just don't. He's too involved. Too involved in the plots and all the trickery and shit. I don't.
Too many Stallions whisperings in his ear, and he's definitely going to take over for Harbaugh when Harbaugh jumps ship. Right? I mean,
as he should. I think they should go with him.
Where else would you go?
It. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucker won 6 games just this year alone.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely. I don't even know why they would do a search. I think they would. They haven't named him the coach in waiting because Harbaugh is still up in the air. But
yeah,
I think it's a shoe-in. I think I don't see why they wouldn't go with him.
Yeah. Odysseus brings up a great point about the Ohio State OC when we do bring one in. He says the OC needs to be in the booth. I think that's obvious, right?
Kevin Wilson was always in the booth.
But he wasn't the OC.
He was co with well, he was co for a while there. after Tim Beck, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because because Ryan was still calling the plays. He is the
Right.
offensive coordinator.
Right.
I think just to retain Hartline, they had to give him that title this year. So that's why they're going back to the co. He's not taking a decrease in pay, I'm sure.
Right.
He's gonna have a co next to his name instead of the OC.
But still, I agree with Odysseus's point. Did I say too many S's there? I've had a lot of bourbon tonight. Anyway, I think that's what happens when you drink a lot of bourbon. You add S's to everything. But yes, I think the OC needs to be in a sterile environment where you can see the entire field from above, the all 22 kind of view that we all want to have, but very few get to have. That way you can see, okay, this is what the defense is doing on this particular alignment, whatever, when we call this, they shift to this. I think the OC, and you just got to be away from all the fucking yelling and shit on the sideline, right?
Yeah, because you're calling plays every down. I think, Joe, just to piggyback on your point, with Ryan Day still so involved in the offense, he needs that. Hey, I'm seeing this. Are you seeing that? And then, the guy in the booth's like, yeah, that's the safety. He's coming up hard on the run. We get a play fake. We can go over top, but
Right.
You're seeing it. I'm seeing it. So, yeah, you need to have someone up there that's in constant communication with a play caller. Or if the play caller's not up there, which in the years past, it was Ryan calling plays, but, Kevin was up in the booth telling him, yes, this. So, yeah, somebody that's got the coach's ear, the head coach's ear, has to be up there.
Hey,
I don't think
camera's
if
on.
it's
we're just
Hartline or
seeing like black. So if you want to turn off your camera, maybe best.
no, my apologies.
What?
I'm Jeff on the mobile tonight, heading home.
All right, that's no problem. Just maybe turn off your camera because it's just black.
Should be off, right?
I don't know. We'll find out.
It's off.
Back to the chat here. So basically, I let off the show. Thank you for joining me. With a lot of the crap we talked about on Friday, and then I started bleeding into the Harbaugh interviews coming up, and then I wanted to get into the roster kind of somewhat solidified, right? I mean, there's no more jumping in the portal unless, obviously, if there's a head coach change, but you can jump out as a player, but we're not going to see too many of that until May. So we'll get into that, but I do want to plow through the chat here as we're getting some dudes in. Mr. Ohio, yes, sir. We appreciate you with the buck nuts. Travis says, if the Bills don't retain Joe Brady, I hope Ryan Day hires him at OC. He's a scheme wizard. Yeah. We talked about him on Friday, didn't we, Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why he would come back to college. That was kind of the question.
Yeah. And my only argument to that was the pay would be probably equal at a place like Ohio State. But the overall dealings of the job, the day-to-day, if I made it to the pros, he could find another job in the pros. I don't know why Buffalo wouldn't retain him. He's proven, replacing Dorsey, how effective. I mean, the team won, and Josh Allen was playing great. So, I unless he has a total fuck up in the playoffs and just like total mind melt, I don't see how he wouldn't stay. And I don't think we could lure him away if he gets a new contract. I don't think we would take him away.
Right.
So all the other pro coaches you named, I don't want. I hard pass on all of them.
Yeah. So here's a question for you: are there any other head coaches in college football? Big time programs. Billy asks, blue bloods that call plays. Lincoln Riley is one he suggested, and then Travis says Sark. Yeah, can you think of anybody else at a meaningful program that calls their own plays?
I know one coach that stopped calling his own plays and he fucking pounded us in the Cotton Bowl. Uh, yeah, but no,
Okay,
I know.
but
I mean, Sark and what's his name? They're the only two. I mean, the big programs. I'm going down. Going on. I'm looking at Clemson, Florida State. Does Norvell call the plays in Florida State? Then in
ooh,
Tallahassee,
that's a good
he was
question. That's
he
good.
was an OC.
Well,
I mean, he's an offensive
well,
coach. I know.
Atkins is their OC, so I bet he calls the plays.
Okay. No, I can't.
Oh,
Riley,
Lane probably calls his own plays, right?
did the Boer? Did he call
He might have. Oh
Washington?
my, yeah.
Sorry.
Uh, but
Jeff Brom from Purdue
Lane
does, I'm sure.
Lane Kiffin,
Yeah.
he calls his own plays, always has.
And those teams are happy to go 10-2 every year. You know, if they go 10-2, they're like, shit,
Yeah.
they're gravy. So it's not, I mean, well, I think Riley, USC is not happy with 10-2. Hell, they got to get to 500. But he's a proven play caller and been able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he makes quarterbacks great, but his teams always melt down with shit. So maybe if he was away from calling plays, he would have a better pulse on the team, and they wouldn't lay eggs against Iowa State or Kansas State or something. You know, right? He used to do it at Oklahoma.
Or be more aware of how bad the defense is. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you watching the rest of the game? Because suddenly you guys are down 14. Anyway, there are plenty of dudes out there that do it. I wouldn't recommend it though, because with today's college football, I'm talking off the field right now, but on the field, yes, this is all right. The video vault I told you guys about right off the top of the show, I'm doing, you got to get in there. As soon as I launch it, I promise I'm going to do a segment on how many half times that Ryan Day blew. He completely fucking blew just a handful of half times this year alone. You know, where he wasn't paying attention to the clock. We had the ball. We could either move it or sit on it in our own area, in our own end, and punt away. But no, he fucking completely blew calls. I bet you if I do a study over the last 5 years, I could find a ton of just first halves. I'm talking first halves alone. We don't second halves, obviously he's more dialed in, but first halves, the middle four or the middle eight, whatever you want to call it. Some teams look at it as the 2 minutes before the half and the 2 minutes after the half. Some do the middle eight, so the 4 minutes before the half, 4 minutes after the half. He has fucked up some first 4 or 2 halves. The beginning, the end.
I know. I'm with you, Joe. I know exactly what you're saying.
He about got Kyle McCord killed against Maryland because he did not sit on the ball in the first half of that game this year. That's just one example, man. I'm going to do a special on that. So that's just one taste of what you can get in the video vault that I'm launching here very shortly. I hope you guys will check it out. I'll let you know when it's up and running. We're also going to have a lot of recruiting shit, highlight videos from all the recruits.
Video sounds exciting.
Everybody that we've offered going forward, and we'll even have some stuff on the 2024 guys. I have so many videos of Jeremiah Smith. God, he might be the most videoed guy in recent recruiting history in the modern era. Anyways, so I'll let you know when that shit's up and running, obviously. So back to the chat here, because that's kind of driving us right now. Travis, yes, he says that Sark calls plays. I think he's right 100%. Odysseus says the Cotton Bowl highlighted having guys in the booth that had no experience. Yep. Billy says, I could see that. Travis says, I think Kirby Smart calls the plays on defense. Okay. That's another nice other side of the coin that we don't really often see, right? Is coaches that are defensive minded, obviously, like a Kirby, actually calling the plays play to play, right?
I remember seeing it years ago, maybe early 2000s. You saw like some of the old school coaches calling the plays, but they just look silly. The ref's trying to come over and talk to him, and he's fucking wiggling his hands and fucking, doing all kinds of shit. It just, it just,
Under cat.
yeah. So you
Ref's
don't
like,
see
what
it
the
too much
fuck?
anymore. And honestly, I've never noticed Kirby doing like calling with signals the defense. I've never noticed it. And he had
That's
Dan Lanning.
interesting.
He had Dan Lanning up until 2 years ago. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Dan Lanning, the defense coordinator, was calling the defenses.
Yeah.
He wasn't even doing signals. Probably he just has he has like just like we have with the offense. We have like 3 people giving signs to all 11.
Right.
I mean, I think that's how sophisticated it's gotten now. And
okay, so this one is from Stephen Cherry, so consider it a source. He says, get JT Barrett on the staff in some capacity. As a paid coach, like one of the counted 10, I disagree, Stephen, sorry.
Yeah, okay, Joe, we covered this on Friday as well.
Exactly, yeah.
We both agree we would love to have JT Barrett in the program, being a Buckeye.
Analyst.
A lot of qualities he can, yes.
Yeah, he's not is probably perfect for him.
If they open it up to coaching staffs can just let's not do this bullshit anymore, analysts and coaches, and there's always people accusing other teams of misusing their analysts. Then they open it up to say 15 person coaching staff. Yeah, he's an assistant quarterbacks coach or assistant whatever.
Assistant to the
not when there's only 10. Not when there's only 10. I mean, we're talking about not having a special teams coach crunching numbers right now. So
yep.
Having one of the position guys handle special teams. So no, not yet. He's got to, not yet. I don't know how much he's been doing.
He's an assistant to the quarterbacks coach for the Lions. That's his title.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. That would be a perfect title at Ohio State.
But
still
that's
a
not
paid
a paid
position, but not one of the 10. Not one of the 10 coaches we're allowed to have.
Yeah. Until the NCAA actually changes that rule and goes with the unlimited coaching staffs, which you're just enabling all the big schools to have unlimited coaches like they have unlimited analysts. So what the fuck's the difference? You're just basically saying they can coach on the field and not be ridiculed for it, even though they're coaching on the field now. But anyways, maybe they're just doing it indoors so that it's not open to the outside air. Yeah, but I get you, Steven. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I love JT Barrett. Was he 3-time captain? Yes. I want him on the staff. I don't know what he brings to the table in the countable 10 coaching staff kind of thing. Then we got Gary Gist. What's the gist? He says, will the D be better next year? Better than what? Top 5? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I did a whole show about how we finished in most of the defensive categories, including nose hair, and we did pretty well. We were top 5 in points, passing yards, everything except turnovers and sacks. So let's see. Odysseus says the goal for the D is under 10 points a game. Yep. Landon says, don't think Caleb Downs is coming. Your thoughts? What do you think, Jeff? Actually, so we learned over the last couple of days that he was not in Georgia, watching that basketball game, apparently. allegedly. We'll see. He was at a meeting last night with Kalen DeBoer coming into the facility, meeting with all the players in the team room. So no signs of him jumping ship yet.
Weighing his options as he
But again,
he's
his position
highly sought
coach
after.
did get hired by Georgia a couple days ago.
Kirby learned the chess game from Saban himself. So
right. Tavares Robinson is the guy. T-Rob, they call him. Billy says, with the Big Ten offenses, that is very doable. Oregon, the only team I'm worried about next year. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, we'll see. Steven says, hell no, Travis. Fuck more. More?
Aren't we all trying to fuck more?
I think he's talking about with 2 O's.
A Moorhead?
Sharon Moore. He's talking about the Sharon Moore suggestion as bringing him in as the O-line coach. Yeah, no, that dude's going to go get a head coaching job. If it's not at Michigan, he's going to go get one somewhere else. He's a good dude, smart dude. Hate to say that, but
yeah. I think if Michigan opens up a search, Harbaugh leaves, he'll be sought after for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be like a lower Big Ten school or a lower ACC school on, you're going there for 3 years and then you're going to be ascending.
Right.
I don't know why Michigan, that would be a mistake on their part, I think, to not just keep him there in the continuity. The players love him. He's got one up on Ryan Day already. He's all in. He knows he knows where the skeletons are in that program. I think unless he's got some personality shit that the athletic department knows about that the public doesn't. I don't see why. I think
like Michigan's program.
Yeah, like he knows about too much. Yeah, but his name stayed out of it though. His name has not been ever brought up in like the not just the sign stealing, but the off the field stuff. The guy creeping around in the emails and the staffers like that. There's no
online gambling
like
might
that.
be a problem. Weiss. Nobody mentions Weiss anymore. A year ago, that guy was headline news. Now nobody talks about that Weiss.
Yeah, and what Partridge that got fired? He was like he's the one that had to take the brunt of the charges this year. And then Saban picked him up immediately for the fucking Rose Bowl, and then Saban quits. The dude's gonna get hung out to dry completely, probably, because he might get a show cause penalty. Nobody's gonna want him. His career might be in trouble.
He didn't hire Partridge. No, Saban didn't hire him.
But
he hired the linebackers coach. Partridge, I thought, was D-line or something. I don't think he hired Partridge. Saban.
Okay, but then I get
different Michigan guy.
Two different. Okay.
But anyways, I get your point.
I put the two stories together.
I get your point, though. Partridge could be slapped with something because he actually was trying to he was talking to players about how to answer questions when dealing with the NCAA investigators, right? And that's a no-no. That's like step one, like lying to investigators, basically.
Yeah, and he was the guy that didn't like. So Harbaugh's not associated with anything, and then there's a guy under Harbaugh that directs all the other people, and it's like a mafia thing, crime, like a crime family. The bottom dudes, they're gonna get hit. They're gonna get stuck with the penalties. Yeah, he's not even concierge. But yeah, so he's the one that got the two guys away from Harbaugh is the guy that's communicating and telling the players and knows all the shit. And those are easy penalties. Like, okay, we know you're guilty because we have all this proof because you're the only one that shows anything. The other guys are all clean. I don't know. That's a black eye on your resume for sure. But
Adriana, I know she has chronic diarrhea, but hear me out.
That was fine.
Anyway,
I was giggling the other day when you sent me that.
right. Yeah. Anyway, back to the chat here. They're kind of steering the ship tonight as we drive it off course. So I
Hey,
think
real
we're
quick
all
though,
in it.
Joe, real quick.
What?
Sorry, are you gonna explain to the people listening why the fuck Shawn didn't get on? At least my excuse was
Yeah, I did.
honorable.
I mentioned it right off the top because I'm
Dead
going to
ass.
take every moment I can to throw
Dump on
somebody
Detroit.
under the bus.
Yeah. Fucking playoff watch party. Get the
That's
fuck
all
out
right.
of here.
Sean always, chooses moments to not show up and not tell anybody. Um, so we got more chat stuff. Billy says, isn't Sharon more the OC? Yes, he is. Odysseus says he's probably no good without the cheating. Exactly. He needs the sweet, soft whispers of Connor Stallions in his ear.
Well, come
Odysseus
on.
says, what?
His offensive line, he's O-line coach and the OC. And when they want to run the ball, they run the ball on everybody in the country. So
Yeah.
that's a step up from what we've been executing.
Oh, Jeff, you missed the top of the show where I was talking about some of the awesome comments I've gotten today and over the last few days. Especially today's show was the top 10 Alabama players that I would go after for
Okay.
Ohio State. Yeah, somebody actually called me an imbecile, and they spelled it right. So respect, kind of.
They had a different top 10 list?
No.
Or
They didn't agree with my entire premise of trying to pluck talent from other teams. Apparently, they live in another world.
they live north of the Mason-Dixon line,
No.
obviously.
I think they live in a world where NIL and transfer portal does not exist, like maybe the 60s or 70s. I don't know. But
I mean,
that was a beauty. Hey, man.
Imbecile. Nice.
When we have a show like this, you open yourself up to a bunch of stupid shit. I appreciate everybody that comes and watches our stuff, all the regular guys and girls in here, and they are the best. But you occasionally, you're going to open yourself up to somebody calling you a lot of names, and apparently YouTube doesn't give a fuck. They're like, you can call that guy whatever you want, but I did respect the fact that he spelled imbecile correctly, and
I'm thinking right now. I don't know if I could, bro. I don't know if I could nail it right now. I'm thinking
you can't go after everybody.
You don't see imbecile written anywhere.
It was hard. I was like, oh shit, there's a C in there.
Oh yeah, I would definitely wouldn't make it. But that shit, Joe, like that stuff doesn't keep you up at night. I mean, the lunatic fringe or whatever. Yeah, I think it's a sign of us getting a little bit more popular if you get the lunatics and the smart cool people like Billy and Odysseus
and Steven,
and sorry if I don't mention your name. Yeah. I'm not looking at the chat the whole time either. So,
but yeah, that one stuck out to me today because I haven't been called that in quite a while. I've been called a lot of other stuff that I could spell very easily. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out to you. Tyrone says Vrabel probably heading to Patriots as what? An assistant? Because
Mayo was the coach in waiting, and he's already been named.
Yeah. Pastrami and Mayo hold the cheese is their coach. That guy was smart. He got that shit in his fucking contract. Remember that?
Yeah. I'm in some people started reporting shit like Vrabel, and Vrabel is a head coach. He's a proven, respected head coach in the NFL. Yeah. He's not going back to be a D-line coach. He's certainly not coming back to a college, even Ohio State, to be a defense coordinator. I couldn't imagine. He'll be highly sought after.
Oh,
there's still 7 openings, right? 6 or 7 openings. Yeah, he's gonna get introduced.
Gonna be more after the playoffs, man.
Most could be. Watch out for Philly.
Yeah. All right. So Vrabel to the Patriots, I don't know, maybe just as a
No.
DC.
No.
Billy says no recruiting, a lot more time off for NFL coaches. Exactly. That's why
Uh-huh.
I don't buy any of these NFL OCs going back to college. If they did, it would be for 1 year, and we don't do that. We have a 2-year stringent contract. So Stephen Cherry says, please
With
don't
buyouts
hire.
and right.
Yeah. Steven says, don't hire Bill O'Brien. No. No. He doesn't recruit. I don't give him credit for Penn State. So, yeah, Billy agrees. Travis says FSU head coach calls plays, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. They do have the OC there, though. Atkins. He's the one that just got that show cause penalty for taking a fucking recruit to his NIL meeting, giving him a ride.
Like after like on his visit,
they
like
just ruled the NCAA just put in place like recently. They're like,
So
oh, boom, we got one.
right. So the kid was on a visit there, and the OC after meeting
Yeah.
with the coaching staff and like looking
Yeah.
film or whatever.
He's like, I need a
"Well, I'll take-"
ride to my NIL meeting.
Yeah. Well, and the head coach is donating his salary to the same NIL.
Yeah. And
What,
well,
no
the
no
booster
no red
also,
flags there, right? I mean,
so there's no contact with that particular collective / booster now. That's part of the penalty. Anyways, retarded. Odysseus says McCord overthrowing Trainum after a big Marv catch led to a day screw up in the game. You're talking about the Maryland game, I assume? Yeah, I can't pull that video up in my head. But I understand, and you're probably right, Odysseus. Easy throw out of the back. Yeah, you're right. That was an easy throw out of the backfield. Billy says, not missing Kyle one bit. Travis says, I got to hit it, boys. Have a great night, OH. All right, Travis, take care of yourself. Stay warm, brother. Odysseus, I thought Muschamp calls the D at Georgia. Could be, yeah, I forgot Muschamp is on that staff. Seems like that would make sense. Yeah.
yeah, he's a very experienced, and I think when Lanning was there, they're just saying the words of the play of the defense, and then the other guys are signaling it in. And they're going to go with the microphones in the helmet, so there's going to be one guy on defense getting the call,
Right.
probably, right?
Yeah,
So
there's
it
no
might be coming-
excuses going forward for that.
More D coordinators
But-
probably go into the booth for that reason, that they can just talk to the captain of the defense and say, hey, tell so and so this. Here's the defense. I think you probably see more DCs heading up to the booth. I mean, ours already does because he wants to have that seeing all 22. So,
oh, we got another crystal ball in. Dominic Kirks, 2024 defensive lineman, 6'4", 255 out of Painesville. I love a line or a D lineman that comes out of Painesville.
I know some boys from
Mr. T
Painesville.
came from.
I know some boys from Painesville. Good people over there.
Yeah,
Tough kids.
fucking,
Tough kids.
Yeah, inflict the Painesville.
He was in Washington, right? He jumped in the portal from Washington.
Yeah, he decommitted
Right?
on
decommitted,
Friday
right?
before the visit, and it's just a matter of him committing at this point. And we did get another 3-star dude, Hammonds, I believe. He's an in-state Ohio guy in the 24 class. Just kind of opened up his commitment again. I don't know if he's a Buckeye quality guy, but dude's got the measurables. He's like 6'5", 230. Edge rusher again, which we are in dire need of. So be interesting to see if the Buckeyes kick the tires on him. I think it was Javon Hammonds. I forget where he's from off the top of my head, but that's one to keep the eyes open for. Caleb Downs' situation. This is interesting to me. I'm really curious to see how this goes. There were rumors on like Friday or something that he put in his paperwork to get in the portal, yet he's not in the portal yet. I understand It was a weekend, and portal people don't work on the weekends, I'm sure. But anyways, if he pops in there, I think the Buckeyes might be the fucking leader right off the bat. No bullshit. No bullshit. Anyways, back to the chat. Billy says, oh, wait. Yeah, Billy says, whoever we hire at OC should be the QB coach. We can get rid of Dennis and free up space for another coach. Yes. Dennis, you guys, I know you guys watch my daily show, and you saw last week's about firing Corey Dennis. His resume. Why is he there? Kind of questions. Billy then goes to Downs, says Downs should want to come and start the best DB room in the nation. He would take over immediately in that Josh Proctor adjuster role, the deep safety.
Yeah,
that guy is a fucking ball hawk.
He's prototype. He's the prototype. That's why they wanted him. Proctor was leaving. They knew bring in Downs. He'll be instantly. Jordan Fuller on steroids. Maybe not.
Yeah. Well,
reckless speculation. No, I'm not saying he does, but you know what I mean. Like Jordan Fuller is like the best at that deep safety that we've had in a long time. This guy potential is over top of that. So,
hey folks, hit that like button, por favor, please. We got 16 likes, 126 views as of right now, and it's just going to skyrocket from here. So I appreciate you guys being here though, and popping in the chat, giving me your shit. Me and Jeff like to feed off you guys. You guys energize us. So yeah, I think if officially Caleb Downs gets in the portal, I think the Buckeyes are the leader off the top.
Well, I mean, with Georgia hiring his position coach at Bama, I mean, Georgia's always going to be there because Kirby knows he knows what he's doing. And he's probably pissed off that he didn't have the final say in Downs recruitment. He probably really wanted him, and they had what was it, AJ Harris that just got in the portal. Is that his name?
Yeah,
the safety kid.
I think he already committed, right?
Yeah, he already left. Right. So I mean, but that was their top safety from that class that they got instead of Downs. So he's gonna go hard after him. And Georgia, they can pull them kids, man. They don't. They're close. They're close to where they're already at. I don't know. Georgia will go neck and neck with them until Caleb Downs says something public. So we can kind of gauge where he's at. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
They're going to be in there in the fight for the end, though.
Right. Back to the chat here.
Chat's live tonight. That's awesome. Chat's going off.
David Greenshield, appreciate you, David. Been a while since we've seen you.
We appreciate all of it.
Yeah. He says Team Up North cheats. Yes. And he says they're filled with scumbags. That's true. Billy says, don't hold back, David. Say how you feel. Odysseus says more new about the cheating. Of course. I mean, that's the thing that is really going to have to come out of this investigation. It's about who in the higher levels of the coaching staff, we're talking about the hierarchy. Like maybe it never got up to Harbaugh's level. Maybe. But I bet you it got up to the fucking coordinator level, which is like the Queens, right? Somebody in the chat or in the comments today, Jeff, called them the Wolver Queens.
The Wolver Queens? I don't think I've ever heard that before.
No. Yeah. And he called them the criminal tide. He's talking about Alabama. The criminal tide and the Wolver Queens or something.
If he thinks that we do 100% above board and these guys do 0% above board, there's with glass houses, man. We get down and dirty. It's probably as much as any other schools now because we have to. Northland Mason-Dixon line doesn't run. They don't run the program the same way the South does. And if you want to play with the best in the country, you got to fight by the same rules. Unfortunately.
Well, I think the Buckeyes right now, they're showing that assertiveness, the Ryan Day, Ryan Day's kind of just taking it to everybody in the country right now, plucking their best players. And he's like, all right, this is enough sitting back, being somewhat complacent in the portal and everything else. We're going at you guys. And now that Saban's out of Alabama, Jeff, I think this opens a lot of doors in recruiting.
Oh,
Because you
for
can't
sure.
tell me
For sure.
a dude coming in from Washington carries the same gravitas as a Nick Saban.
No,
recruit.
I mean DeBoer's obviously a good recruiter. He's turned that program around quickly. He'll attack the portal. He's gonna use everything on. We're still Alabama. Look, they're gonna get kids on campus. Look at all those, all those trophies, Heisman's and everything else. So he's gonna still keep kids, especially the Alabama kids. But Auburn is they think like they just won the Super Bowl. They're celebrating so much.
Right.
Auburn's going to step up, and
For the
Georgia's going
local
to.
guys, yeah, they probably
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, but yeah, Bama might not be going out to Southern California anymore to get the running backs.
Yeah. Quarterbacks,
Quarterbacks.
little guys.
So, but the kids in the portal, from all the ripple effect of these coaches bouncing. See what head coach if Washington gets a head coach, that's a whole nother team that we can sit and look at. I remember Ryan Day talking
Jed
about that.
Fish is taking that job, it looks like, from Arizona. So that opens the Arizona, stat or the roster to a 30-day window in the portal.
And the whole
Not that
Big
there's
12 and
people
Pac-12
we
will
need
feast
from
on
that.
No, but the Big 12, I'm sure there's a lot of kids, a lot of Big 12 schools, and those type of schools, Fresno State, the Mountain West schools, they're going to feast on whatever they can. Ryan Day talked about needing about 15 million to keep a class. I think we're kind of seeing that. I would be interested to see how we got the money, but this is Ohio State playing by the South's rules.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
legal
taking
now.
notice.
That's the beauty.
That's it. I mean, now we're just willing to do it, and look how effective we're doing it.
I think
because we're Ohio
from
State.
what I'm getting some info like ancillary. It's not all like legit, but from legit sources, I'm getting info that the Buckeye boosters are, after losing to the assholes, the cheaters, 3 years in a row, are like willing to do anything. And so they're putting their money in the NIL space versus the athletic department.
I read a lot of those articles.
They're not
too,
interested in building more buildings in their name or getting their name plastered on, a couple bricks outside the stadium. They're going to the NIL area where it can make, like, the 1891 or 1776, whatever that foundation is. They're the ones that are football
you do that on purpose,
focused.
Joe? Are you doing that on purpose? Like disregarding?
I forget the numbers. It's too many numbers, Jeff.
It's 1870.
All right, there you go. Thank you.
I'm coming
to you anytime we want to talk about NIL. All right, you're my NIL liaison.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to set you up with some meetings.
Gene Smith is a fundraiser, but he's leaving. He's on his way out. They're looking for his replacement, so he doesn't have that same, that same connection with the big boosters and getting their money. They're probably like, well, Gene, you be pissed at me if you want, Gene. You're on your way out. We need the fucking kids in here. So
exactly,
it's all a factor. But yeah, Ryan Day knows he can't lose to Michigan again. He's got to load up his fucking team as much as he can. And it just so happened that Saban retired after we started putting this in motion. So now it's really just ratcheted up.
That will be interesting. Side note to your point here is how Saban, if at all, if he will be instrumental in any change in college football. You know what I'm saying? So, like, not just NIL, but like maybe even getting into like some of the legal stuff with the president of the NCAA and talking about, enacting whatever with the government. that
Yeah,
gets players paid without having the collective dirtiness about it.
and coaching staffs being able to keep control of their program. That's really what he wants. He's all for the kids. I mean, Saban's pretty much talking without saying it. We need to get to a revenue sharing collect CBA
Oh yeah,
because he wants to keep control of his program and keep his kids paid so he can get the best kids.
no,
And which is I think it is the ending that we're heading towards. Just nobody wants to admit that they have the directions. But like they talk about like the czar of the playoff system. Like a commissioner. He'd be perfect for it. I mean, of course, everybody would be afraid of the Alabama SEC leaning. But what are we dealing with right now? You know what I mean? The biggest sports entertainment agency is, at their beck and call. So
right.
I would love to see him. I would love to have a commissioner of the playoff system,
Or just of college football, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That is for Power 5 only.
Yes.
I think that's
separate. Let's stop the charades. Let's separate from the MAC. It's not the same. We're not playing the same game. They shouldn't be held to the same rules we are. We shouldn't be held to the low rules that they are. It's
right. How do we get on that little side note?
Because everything going on in college football leads right back to that. It all falls back to it. But anyways.
All right.
We can move on.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we got some stallions talking there, and Billy's like, stallions whispering in Sharon's ear. Yeah, he definitely knew exactly where they have. If they have the D signals, they know where to run. Yeah, David says they'd celebrate stallions, buying beers. Exactly. They couldn't beat us for 20 years. I had no choice but to cheat. Exactly. I mean, 2000 to 2020 was a fucking shit show for them. Would we go 17-3?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Even John U. Bacon says no part of this rivalry is ever gonna be at that level from either team again. It basically admitting that the Buckeyes dominated Michigan 17-3 in 20 years. That has never been part of the rivalry ever. He's saying that, that's virtually impossible to do. And that's the modern era, which is like, impressive. In my opinion.
Tressel lost once, and then we lost the year Fick was in.
Yeah.
Urban didn't lose, and now, yeah. I don't know, but it feels like dog shit though. That 3 years in a row they've gotten us.
Oh yeah, there won't be if there is a fourth, it will be the last time. But I don't know where you go. I mean, this is another conversation for another show we can do in the middle of summer. But we don't even need to do that show. Like, what would if he happens to lose a game in 6 months, who would we hire? Well, we don't know. Right. I mean, that would be a exercise not worth doing. Billy says,
better not.
Carson was a fish out of water in Alabama. I think you mean Auburn. DeBoer might struggle making connections. Yeah, I don't know if he has any connections in the Southeast. Odysseus says DeBoer probably goes 10-2 back-to-back years, gets canned because he can't match Saban. I think if he does not make the playoffs 1 year, he's probably fired. Like, say he has 3 losses in a season, misses the playoffs, that's probably it. Right?
Yeah, Bama will have to go 9-3, and maybe third in the West, or they're not gonna have East West anymore. None of the conferences are, but yeah, 9-3, 2 years in a row, 9-3. There's gonna be a lot of rumblings for sure. And
what if they have 4 teams that are 10-2?
Well, I mean, with the 12-team playoff, Bama's getting in with 2 losses.
2, yes.
Unless there's, I mean, obviously there's circumstances if they lose to fucking Vanderbilt and Kentucky and play like shit, but beat everybody else. It would take some weird. you got a picture. There's going to be a lot of 2-loss teams in that playoff. I think.
Yeah.
The spreading out of talent is growing. With the NIL and stuff. So
yeah,
a lot of these good kids are spreading out. They're not all. We're not. None of us are getting all of them anymore.
right.
Us, Georgia, Bama. We're going to say at the top, but they're. There's 5 stars going to Dylan Stewart going to South Carolina.
Well, I think you don't want to be the guy following the guy, and DeBoer is going to be on a very short leash, man. I'm talking 2-3 years, something like that.
Jim, I'm guessing he's going to get probably probably $7 million a year for 10 years, 75 guaranteed million.
Oh, more than that. He's going to get double digits, man. He's going to be 10 plus.
He'll be 10. Well, 10. I don't think he'd take more than. I think they can get away with paying him less than 10. 10's high. That 10's like how many? There's a handful of coaches making over 10 million. I think, very few. But he'll say, "What if I bomb out at Bama? I'm still going to get another job somewhere, and I'm going to get 70, 80 million on a buyout." So that's that money. When the money's that big, I think you say, "Well, fuck it. I got confidence in myself. Maybe it'll work." So.
Steven says 14-3, Detroit winning. Are you guys cheering for Detroit? That's my question. I'll cheer for Chris Spielman because he works in our front office. If there's a way he could be on the field. But Badass Buckeye also says, who really thinks McCarthy will go in the first round? Talk about a team carrying their QB. Yeah. Jeff and I talked about it on Friday, actually. He is actually ranked 48th in the PFF draft board. So the draft board they do is quality of player, not according to what team is picking when or anything like that. It's like this player should be picked at this position. He was 48th. That's middle of the second round.
Yeah. I'm guessing probably the seventh, 8th quarterback, I'm guessing. Sixth.
Yeah.
Sixth rank. Yeah.
So what has he done to change your mind? I mean, seriously, that seems about right. That might be a little aggressive in my opinion because he's got wheels, can move, will take off, but he's never shown that arm. He's never shown the ability to read progressions from level to level across the field, go 1, 2, 3, and make a choice or take off. So, yeah, he was hamstrung by the offense,
And they didn't, and you can tell in that Penn State game, it wasn't just like we're just gonna prove a point and run 30 times the second half. No, they didn't feel comfortable with him. Like you said, going back there and making those deep reads against a solid defense that was getting a lot of pressure on him. They said, "Well, we'll run it and hope for the best," and it happened to work because they had a great line and good backs. So I mean, that's an indictment on him if he throws one pass in the second half of a tight game against
or none passes against Penn State.
Well, okay, yeah, I think he threw one. I thought he threw one in, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah,
they didn't. If he was showed great, great ability to do everything you talked about doing, a quarterback needs to do, they wouldn't have not let him throw it. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
Exactly.
Oh, we just wanted to prove a point against Penn State. That's what I heard from my buddy. Well, we just wanted to show Penn State we could just run down the throat. I'm like, oh, it wasn't anything about your quarterback, huh? Okay. All right.
Right.
Why do I like
so
you?
let's polish off the chat here and get out the door. We got Billy said, Odysseus says, too bad it took seeing those clowns hoisting the asterisk trophy to act. Yeah. Billy says McCarthy probably to the way of Stetson Bennett. Good point. Go the way he meant. Steven says Ohio State and Oregon will be a battle for the Big Ten next year. That's a good point. Yeah, I agree with you there. Steven says cheaters will be 8-4 and miss the 12-team playoff. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice?
It'd be nicer. It would be nicer to beat them 2 times in a row, or even 3 times in a row. We'll get all 3 of them dubs back next year. Like I hope somehow miracle that Orgy kid goes Orgy wild, and he's the next Jalen Milrow, and we
he
can
likes the
them.
party.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? I would prefer that more. I would than seeing them like just fall off and be shitty again. No, let's take it to them. Like Clemson, we got our redemption on Clemson.
Right. Billy says Ducks versus Bucks, game of the year in 24. Steven says, I'm a Browns fan, Joe. Sorry, Steven. I used to be a Browns fan when I was a kid. When I stopped, 1989, that was the last year they lost to the Broncos in the playoffs after, 3 years in a row of losing to the Broncos in the playoffs. I was like,
was that Biner's fumble? Was that 89 or 87?
Fuck, doesn't matter.
Oh, what? No,
somebody fucked up.
What Pops did that day after when that happened, is ingrained in my head. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. So I then in 89, 90-ish jumped on the Raiders bandwagon because I was hard into hardcore rap, NWA and Ice Cube and Dre and all that shit, and started doing all the Raider stuff. And then, like in the last 5 to 10 years, I just kind of faded from the NFL. This show obviously takes up a lot of my time, so I don't even have time to watch the NFL. Like I said early in the show, yesterday's Browns-Houston game is the first NFL game I watched all year. And I was going to watch a game today, but golf was on, so I watched golf instead.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry, Steven. I wasn't trying to pile on. Billy says JJ has the ability to make plays out of the pocket, but not so much in it. He's not going to have the O-line he did at Michigan. Yeah, exactly.
The disparity in talent,
he's going to be in for a rude fucking awakening. Even if he stays at Michigan, dude, they're losing 44 fucking seniors, man. No more COVID years. Going to help you guys out.
That's crazy. That's a crazy number, bro. That's a crazy number.
Be even more of an awakening.
Hey, real quick on the early signing period. Yeah. Do you know who they signed? I mean, what number? Because if you're losing 44, yeah, their signing period. Like, how many recruits did they sign? 24. I'm just curious what kind of class they were bringing in. Obviously, they didn't bring in 44 recruits.
What do you mean?
The early signing period in December, their class.
Oh,
they're freshmen.
I don't know how many.
The number, like quantity. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna check 24/7. Because you're not signing 44 kids in a recruiting class. They're gonna be in the portal. They're gonna get all these portal dudes. But you get 3 years of that, and you don't stack with the recruiting class, it'll fail.
Well, anywhere. Jeff, that's the thing about this hardball to the NFL stuff. They have been virtually inactive in the portal. They brought in maybe 2 guys coming into the program. In the previous years, you remember, they were bringing in waves of dudes. That's why they accumulated those 44 seniors, right? Because they were coming from other schools, Stanford and shit. But anyways,
can't keep doing it.
Eventually,
it's gonna call you.
They have nobody coming in right now, so that tells you Harbaugh does not give a fuck.
I'm still surprised. It blew my mind.
Bombed out and depleted, man.
What's I gonna say about that suit that hasn't already been said about Iraq?
That's right.
Haters ball. Diabolical. I can receive that whole skit. Yeah, I mean, the year he was interviewing the Vikings, not the other way around, on signing day. If that didn't tell everybody anything, the portal kids didn't care about that, but that has to rub people the wrong way. It's still, I'm sure there's still Michigan people that are not cool with that. But he won, so they're gonna take that. They're gonna say, we don't fucking like him, but he won, so say Jim, please.
Yeah.
Margin call coming either to this year or next on Michigan. And unless they pull out another 5-star quarterback and that's what they need.
Exactly. All right, folks. We appreciate everybody popping in, joining us for the last hour and a half. We will be back with you live on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you're subscribed, you're going to get your daily Buckeye Blitz every day, first in the morning in your ear and face holes. So, Jeff, appreciate you.
No doubt, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.